Okay, who doesn't love a good nap? Well, unfortunately, a recent report from the American Heart Association linked frequent or usual daytime napping in adults with a higher risk of developing high blood pressure and a higher risk of having a stroke.
Yeah, with us now to break it all down is Dr. Wazni. He's a cardiologist and stroke director with Dignity Health Glendale Memorial Hospital.
Welcome, doctor. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's break this down because Bob and I were talking about this and you would think that this goes against everything that we've heard about. It's good for your heart. It's good for your health to take a quick nap during the day. So is this a power nap that we're talking about, a 15 to 20 minute, or is this an hour-long plus?
Yeah, good question. So I think a little bit of both. So just to give you a little background, 1 in every 7 stroke presents as a wake-up stroke. So, you know, throughout history, we've known that there is some association between bad sleep or bad sleep patterns and stroke and heart disease. This particular study looked at sleep frequency. So they looked at basically people between the ages of 40 and 69, and they asked them, you know, how often do you sleep? And they answered, you know, often, sometimes, and never. And actually, when we compared the two, the people who answered they slept often had an increased risk of stroke and hypertension, 24%, pretty astounding.
Okay, so as Marla was saying, you know, a lot of us, we take that power nap. In many ways, sometimes I listen to my body, and if I liken it to like powering down a computer for a second, right? Power it down, power it back up, especially if I got up early in the morning. So are we talking about power naps or long naps, or what kind of naps are we talking about here?
So when it comes to napping, that's a great question. So if we take naps about up to 30 minutes, it's actually beneficial. So naps between under 30 minutes, you're going to have a decreased risk of stroke, cardiac disease, hypertension. And at about 30 to 40 minutes, there's no benefit. And actually, if you sleep more than 60 minutes, that increases your risk of stroke, diabetes, and hypertension. And actually, your risk of diabetes goes up to at least 50% if you sleep more than 90 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So ultimately, the study found that frequent naps are linked to 12% higher risk of developing high blood pressure and 24% risk of having a stroke. And as you just heard Dr. Wazni say, this is 60 minutes or longer in terms of a nap. And then, doctor, this is interesting. Characteristics of frequent nappers look like this. Men. As I look at Bob, lower education and income, cigarette smokers, that drink daily, have insomnia and snore. So overall, when we're looking at this these aren't characteristics ultimately of a healthy lifestyle overall anyway.
Well, yes and no. So, I mean, let's just be clear. I just want to let your viewers know that there's just an association, right? So when we looked at sleep frequency, and we looked at the risk of stroke, there was an association. Now, the nitty-gritty of exactly why that occurs, now we don't exactly know, but you're right. I mean, the people who answered that they often took naps were older men, typically low income, and they also associated sleep problems. So a lot of them had sleep disorders such as sleep apnea and insomnia.
So yeah, as I was looking at the study, I'm thinking to myself, is this less about the nap than actually the health of the person? Because if a person can't sleep at night because they're drinking, they're smoking, or they're playing video games, and then they're tired, and that's the reason why they're napping during the day, well, obviously, we're talking about some kind of unhealthful individuals.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the way I look at it is I look at, you know, sleep as part of brain health. So we want to make sure that we have a good sleep pattern. So sleeping every day at the same time, waking up early, and making sure that if we do nap, it's okay. But if we do nap, I want it to be less than 30 minutes because that actually is a benefit. It's just that when we're kind of snoozing off often, more than an hour, I think that's when we're going to start running into trouble. There's a lot of confounding factors that the people who do admit to that are, you know, smokers, drinkers, older men
there's probably
who may be obese.
Yeah, there's probably a reason why you're sleeping a lot longer during the day. So a power nap is okay.
That's good.
He's validated
a lot of people, they work these shift schedules too. So a power nap is okay. You heard it here from Dr. Wazni. Thank you so much, doctor. We appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, doctor.